What's good, everybody out there on YouTube? This is your man Shattuck Stick dropping some hot frog on this mic. You're watching Jet Set Shattuck, and we're going to talk about the state of play. Before, I go ahead, I'm just going to preface this with this. I actually liked the state of play for the most part. I do have some issues with it, and I'm going to go into those towards the end because I think they're, a part of a greater issue that a lot of people had with the state of play. But the first thing I got to say, if you like action games like myself, we are so fucking back. We got Lost Soulside, gameplay and release window, Tides of Ascension or Annihilation. I think it was Tides of Annihilation is what it's called. That looked awesome. We got some Onimusha gameplay, and in all honesty, that really excited me. On top of that, if you're not into the action stuff, JRPGs, Digimon, a new Digimon game is coming out. I think it's Digimon Story Time. It's actually got to pull up Time Stranger. And in all honesty, I like the Digimon Story games that released on the PlayStation 4/Vita/ I think 3DS. I don't know. But I like those games a lot. And seeing them continue with that format going forward is honestly awesome to me. I am a little bit worried. I don't want this game to be full price, not because I don't think it's worth it from a gameplay or story perspective, but it just looks like the graphics just don't look like they're as good as they should be for something that is supposedly a PS5 game. But who knows? And then we got Sonic Racing Cross Worlds, which, as a Sonic fan, I'm super excited for. My other channel before this one was a Sonic the Hedgehog channel, and in all honesty, this game looks awesome. It looks like they didn't want to, fully tease the extreme gear, but they did tease it. We got to see Jet the Hawk riding it. We got to see Sonic do some tricks on different extreme gear, so that looks exciting. And they announced a myriad of other smaller games and stuff like that. Housemarque is making a new game. I haven't played Returnal yet, which honestly I should, but their new game, Saros, it looks awesome, in all honesty. I just wish they showed gameplay. I'm not excited about it in the sense that, I'm going to go out and buy it, but I do want to see more considering what Housemarque did with Returnal. Then we got first gameplay looks at Borderlands 4. They announced a Borderlands 4 state of play, which I think is kind of dumb, in all honesty. And I'll get back to that when I talk about the, kind of the issues that I had with this state of play. We got some more Metal Gear Solid news. The Hell Is Us. I'm excited about that. Again, action game fans, we're eating. But at the same time, I wish they showed more gameplay. I don't know. I feel like it wasn't enough. I was interested in all the stuff they were talking about in the trailer from an aesthetic standpoint, but I wish we got more gameplay. The game Metal Eden looks kind of cool to me. But otherwise, I'm not super excited about anything else because it's either DLC or like a Days Gone remaster. And I think that's the issue with this state of play. It was 40 minutes and it was padded out with content that didn't need to be there. I get that, Dave Diver is, popular. I've never heard anyone personally say they like it. It feels like an industry plant game, but it's getting a crossover with Yakuza. That's cool, but you don't need to spend 2 fucking minutes on it. Same thing with Monster Hunter Wilds. I think Monster Hunter fans are going to buy it. I think it's going to probably be a phenomenal game, but they didn't need to spend like the opening 3 or 4 minutes, basically trying to sell people on the game they're already probably going to buy, especially because it's not vastly, or it doesn't appear vastly different from anything prior. That's not to slam Monster Hunter. It just looks like more of the same in a good way. Don't come at me, I'm not a super big Monster Hunter fan. The last one I played was like Monster Hunter something Ultimate on the Switch, and even then I played like 30 minutes of it. The last time I got super into Monster Hunter was like Monster Hunter Portable 3rd on the PSP. But overall, I just think a lot of the stuff that was shown here just felt like padding. I felt like they had a compelling show here, even with some of the weaker, new announcements, like Mind's Eye or whatever. The game looks cool from a story standpoint, but they really didn't show off any meaningful gameplay or anything like that. And it just looks like another, third person, action-driven story game from a Western studio. That's not to diminish that game, but they didn't show off a ton that made it, made me want to buy it. And I think that's the issue here. It's like, this is very much game industry. Wow, look at this, buy this. Oh, we're going to pad this show out with a bunch of DLC. Like the Lies of P DLC. Looked cool. Thought it was a new game. but it's a DLC. I'm probably going to get into Lies of P now because it looks cool as shit, but at the end of the day, you know, it's a DLC. It's padding for all the actual substance that they had. And I felt like this just could have been smaller. I felt like this should have been a much smaller state of play, and on top of it being a much smaller state of play, they should have had some big releases. Like, they had some nice and cool stuff in here, but they didn't have like a Bloodborne remastered or a God of War remaster or remake or something like that. And I felt like they really needed something like that to tie the show together. I talked about it in my last video, but Ghost of Yotei was the only thing at the last state of play. But some people were like, this is amazing only because of Ghost of Yotei. Everything else just was kind of slop. And I personally didn't like it. I mean, I was excited about Ghost of Yotei, but that's it. I just think this state of play is kind of indicative of where Sony is. I think Jim Ryan kind of ruined PlayStation in a way. I mean, don't get me wrong. He made money for PlayStation. He made them, you know, uber amounts of money. But just from, you know, the consumer standpoint, I just didn't like a lot of the decisions he made. He was ixnaying single player games, more of the unique single player experiences. And on top of that, he was making it so that, you know, every game Sony, you know, was making was a live service game. And now they've been slashing them in the background, and the only two left are Fair Games and Marathon from Bungie. But I don't know. I like this, you know, state of play, but I do feel like it was lacking that big hitter title that I think a lot of people would have liked. You know, the niggas who play games exclusively with balls and guns. They needed something for those niggas, and they didn't have it. But I don't know. How do you feel about this in that comment section down below? I just really feel like this was a really solid state of play, but I do feel like it was padded out a bit much and expectations were high, especially considering that it's 40 minutes. They should have named it like a partner state of play or something like that, instead of just, hey, here's this big whopping 40-minute state of play where half of the content is DLC and games you've already played, or even games you've already seen enough of. But this has been your man Shattuck Stick. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Watch out for my next video. It's on actually on a Sony franchise or a Sony IP, and I'm really excited. Maybe it'll release the day after this. But this has been your man Shattuck Stick. Hot Faraga turns to Cold Blizzaga. Make sure you chill out with some of my other videos. Follow your boy on Twitter, Blue Sky, and join the Discord. Links, as always, are down below in the description. We're out of here. Peace, and have a good one.
Wanna put you